Hello and welcome. This is happening. I don't know if I can get the chat on this view. I'm gonna try. So lots is happening. There's a lot of news going on. There's a fighter jet or a Black Hawk helicopter that got crashed into a jet, into an airline. It was very sad. Um, yeah, so we're just reeling at that news. Yeah, confirm it's me on my phone. I got my password right. And here we go. Lots happening. A lot of gotta put in the pass key. Gosh. So hard to log into anything nowadays. You gotta know your password, you gotta know your PIN. You gotta have your life together just to log into shit nowadays. That's not how it was when I was younger. This is loose. Ah, fuck it. Okay, so here we are. Gotigo says, "What's up, Han? What up, Han? Who, whoever that is, I hope you're doing something what's up worthy. Howdy with a black hand. Hello, Black David K. So yeah, just going through the chat. Um, I could put up a goal. Let's see if I can get some money off of you guys. Please don't give me any money. Hooping. I'm just pressing all the buttons, having fun. Um, there's 11 people here right now. So Rich Homie Kevin says, "What's up?" Is that your thing? You're like the rich guy? That's fun. That's like, that's what I do. I live near there. It happened last night at Reagan National in Arlington, Virginia. Most likely the helicopter pilot messed up. Yeah, I think that's what happened. I think the helicopter pilot was just on a mode. He was maybe just like, maybe on his phone or something. He's just over there, just driving a helicopter like this. I think what happened is like when something is on a collision course with you, it's hard to see because it's not moving in your periphery or like in relation to the background. So when he was flying his helicopter, he just saw a light in a constant spot in the sky. Maybe he thought it was the background, and then he crashed into it because he didn't realize he was on a collision course with it. Because when something is in the same spot in your periphery, then that's a collision course because it's not going to move from here as you get closer and closer and closer, and then it's going to be right here soon. So it just looks like a stationary light. So those are the most dangerous kind of um, lights, I guess, are the stationary ones. If something's staying still, that means that pooping in your future says pooping goal. Hell yeah. My goal was pooping, and his name is Poop in Your Future. That's really coincidental. That's love. That's poopy love right there. It felt like another protest from special operators. I don't know. It's a pretty costly protest. I don't think most people want to give their life for a protest where people don't even know what their freaking what I mean, they didn't have anything. They didn't have like a banner at the end of their helicopter being like, "This is for Jews or Iraq or, lesbians or trans people." So it's funny that if you just commit an act of suicide and then you just don't even let people know what it was about. So they just have to deal with suicide for a while. Hansen, someone saw me in Portland at the Helium. Thank you for coming. That was a fun time. Portland Heliums are always like one of my favorite shows. They're so crazy. Um, it's just a lot of energy. It's just like Texas, because everyone who lives in Portland around a bunch of liberals is going to turn a little Texan. You have to just to survive, just so you can combat their liberalness. So they have this very Texan sort of energy, which is great because that's what I've been doing comedy for a lot. So that's just feels familiar to go to Portland of all places. Portland feels the most like Texas, paradoxically for me to say swear words and racial slurs and the reaction is the same as Texas. I feel like you still alive? I'm alive. I Kim in her hand for 60 seconds every Monday. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean. Is that like a Kim Congdon? Or is it just my last name? He corrected it. I still don't. I think he's trying to say I come in my and I come in her hand. I come in her hand for 60 seconds every Monday. So you're continuously coming for 60 seconds into a woman's hand. Sounds sounds uncomfortable. Um, Mental health for social operators. I'm pro bono lobbyist, legal cannabis. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much mental health is going to help this guy not crash into a fucking jet, but I'm sure that it's possible. If you can mental health your way out of all competency issues, I think maybe you should try to get better at flying helicopters, maybe. I mean, if you're in the military, I have no idea how the military works, but that doesn't stop me from guessing and hypothesizing. The way the military works is that they're all 18 and 20-year-olds flying around in the most expensive equipment we have. And, you know, I don't know how you were at when you were 18, but that's probably when I was least capable of flying a helicopter. That's why all the pilots you see are old, because that's the kind of vibe you need. You need to have old vibes to fly a helicopter. I think, like, me as a drone pilot, it's pretty much the same as a helicopter pilot. JK. It's like a lot of checklist shit, and then you get to have fun for like 30 minutes, and then you have to go back and just fix all the shit that you fucked up. So it's a very technical kind of thing. You just have to twist knobs and make sure the switches are on and shit and go through the checklist. So I don't think that's a very fun job for a young person. I think a young person should be on the gun just shooting things. That's more their speed. They can handle that. Their brains are young. They can handle getting smashed into the front of their cranium better than old people. So I think all pilots should be old. You just have to fucking make sure that you just fucking don't fuck anything up. And that's what old people are good at. They're always looking out for danger, even when none exists. They're always trying to shoot people on their lawns. Now you have real shit to worry about. You can go home and be like, what? That kid playing soccer in a field 100 yards from me is not the same issue as a fucking whatever, as a fucking the flaps not being up or whatever. Johans, do it, fart. The puss. 60 seconds jizzing his rookie numbers. What the fuck? I was the guy that gave you shrooms. Thank you, Keith G. I do shrooms a lot now. I'm trying not to smoke weed. I do vape. It's horrible, but it's like what I want in a weed hit. It just hits you right away. So I'm just addicted to changing my brain. I don't like having the same brain. Zach, I see you use PKA's lock and load. Now people are just having conversations with each other. That's great. It's like a forum. All those damn DI hires in the control towers. That's fun. Yeah, what if it was just like some Pakistani lesbian and like a Jewish fucking ogre just in the control towers, just making macrame and doing craft projects instead of fucking flying the plane, just changing out their tampons, showing each other their new surgery. I don't know what these fucking air traffic controllers are like. But yeah, that's like 911 operator. That's like the one time operators are still useful is air traffic control. Back in the day when they used to have switchboards, that job morphed into air traffic controllers, the top of the air operators. That used to be done by women. They still have a role. Um, I don't know if being a woman makes you worse at being an air traffic controller. I think you have different struggles, but I think if you have enough determination and competence, you can figure it out, even if you are a woman. I don't think women are that bad at air traffic controlling. Maybe they're better because they're better at talking to people and empathizing and relating. Men are just mean and cruel, and they're just bored, and they want to do something crazy instead of just doing normal boring thing. They were distracted by the new Bruno Mars song. Oh shit, Bruno Mars dropped a new hit. He's been evolving his music, and it's really good. I think it's amazing what he does. He's really great at making songs that are great. And I think his songs are getting better. They're evolving. They're not just like the same old bullshit. It's like he's getting really good at this shit. Like he was already good at making these poppy little songs, and now they're becoming more soulful. So I'm excited to hear it. Bruno Mars is better than we deserve. He is a beautiful artist, and he's underappreciated. He's American Ed Sheeran. There's a stick under the Oval Desk, office desk, that's set to override any air vehicle at any time. A stick? That's fun. Is that like best? Is that the best, user interaction UI for overriding air vehicles? You just go out there and just wave your stick around. Blue meanies. Were they good? I'll bring you more if you're back in Portland. I'd love to get some more mushrooms. Thank you, Keith G. They were amazing. Why am I not on KT as frequently? Just because I don't know. I mean, it's Tony's choice. He's crafting the show in the way he sees best. Maybe it's better for me to lay low for a little bit and then come back later. Who knows what the plan is, but you know, I'm doing a lot of different shows coming up. I'm hanging out a lot with other people that are awesome, like Tony. So I'm just gonna play my cards right, not be beggy, not be desperate. I enjoy Kill Tony, so I go every Monday. But yeah, I mean, it's not like I wanted to just take up all the stage time. I did a lot of jokes on there. I use a lot of those jokes still, so like them. I think they're good. A lot of those jokes, some of those jokes. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna be desperate and try to get on Kill Tony before I need to be on there. Hell yeah. What is it like waiting backstage with the people who are planning on going up? It's it's a great energy. It's like, holy shit, this is like we're about to take off. It's like a fucking rocket ship. It's like NASA. It's like flight control. Um, it's like an air traffic controller with so many different types of people there. It's like a DEI higher office. There's Asians, there's blacks, lots of blacks. There's handicaps and weirdos and autistics and Jews. Everyone's talking, everyone's having a good time. No one is in a negative kind of energy. Everyone is trying to be positive, trying to not get kicked out, not fuck anything up. And everyone is trying to not mess with anyone's emotions too much, just in case they're going up on stage. You don't want them to blame you, so you're just trying to be positive, give people positive energy, and it's a great environment. There's nothing like it in the world. I mean, I'm sure there are other places like it, but it's a good sort of vibe. Tony is the commander. He commands and he dictates the tone of the room, and it's amazing how he does that. He's been in comedy for like 20 years. He knows not only on stage but off stage. He's a black belt at that too. And if you haven't been in the room with him, then you just don't know. But he's great, and I like what he does to the fucking liberals who are just doing their fucking riffs in the corner like they're fucking gay or something. Because I think a lot of those liberal riffers are just exclusionary. They don't really want to talk with other people or grow as a person. They just want to talk nonsense and they're psycho little baby babble, and they just find people that will foster that. So yeah, I'm just trying to look cool when I'm vaping. I don't look very cool. I don't think Tony treats me badly. I think he has given me an amazing career. And that's the whole reason you know about me. It's comedy, it's not a hand-holdy, love-making time. There's roasts and there's goofs and gaffs. And yeah, it's worth it. I mean, people get treated like shit at their fucking office job, and they have to work in an office all day and get paid 40K a year. I get treated and abused as an Asian man, as a little Asian boy, and called autistic, and I get compensated for that. So I like being called um an autistic little virgin freak, sex obsessed moron for what I get out of it, financially and socially. No, it has nothing to do with the online haters. Why I'm not on Kill Tony. It has to do with Tony. Tony is in charge of the show, so there's there's something that he does, and we all follow him. It's his show, and it's like when someone has a show, that's their show. It's like even if you go to like a shitty bar showcase and someone's running the show, that's their show. That's the person we put in charge. They're in charge. If they abuse their power, people don't go to their shows and it slowly fades away. But yeah, he has the biggest show in comedy right now. So um, he is in charge of the show and he dictates what happens. And um, yeah, it's great energy. Do you live in Austin? I live in Austin. There's no price for your dignity. I mean, my dignity's intact. I know I'm like autistic and Asian, and I'm like a horny little Asian autistic person. So, yeah, what you gonna hurt my feelings by calling me that? Ty Marion, what's up? It seems like you have Stockholm syndrome. Why do you keep pestering me about this, dude? I enjoy my life. I mean, if you think I'm suffering, then please give me a better one. But unless you can do what Tony did for me, I'm gonna stick with Tony. Are you a fan of the probe? Drugs are bad, MK. Drugs are bad. Um, Austin is great. He's from Canada. Hopefully it'll become America soon. Canada is great. Canada is whatever. Austin is fun. I love the people here. The people are amazing. The infrastructure is not the best. Everything is a giant highway. Even the fucking local roads are not fun. There's no like walkable places besides small pockets and neighborhoods like Mueller and maybe downtown. But yeah, it's a great place. People are fun. They're down to hang. I'm not really playing video games. I'm playing Catan online. I'm playing Carcassonne online. There's no nature in Austin, I heard. I mean, if you drive a little bit outside of Austin, it's just complete nature. Like 10 minutes, it's a small city. 15 minutes, there's nature everywhere. It is sort of like a Texas fucking dry, sandy, dirty, dusty kind of thing, but that's the nature here. Um, and there's a river. The river is pretty cool. They dammed both sides of it up, so it's not really a river, it's a lake. Lady Bird Lake. They love to dam up their rivers here. The best part of rivers is that it flows, so you get all the gunk out. So the gunk doesn't leave, it just stays, and it's kind of gross. But yeah, I mean, hydroelectric power, is that worth damming your rivers up for? Hopefully, we can find another way to power things up. But yeah, I saw a documentary called Damnation, and they said America just was like, this is what we do with rivers. Let's mass produce dams. And we just dammed everything up without thinking about the consequences, which, is something that we do. We just fucking have a hammer. Everything's a nail. We just fucking pour oil into whatever we can to get us whatever we want. Um, this mic arm is slowly falling. Let's do this. Give it a less moment. Force. Moment force. Force moment. At least you guys got warm weather. Yeah, I don't know why. I think people that live in cold weather just don't know what it's like to live in warm weather. It's way better. To be able to go outside and not die if you dress wrong. Like you can go outside however, you can just go outside in flip-flops and you're still gonna be alive at least. So yeah, I mean, Greta Thunberg was in the news. I was thinking about watching Greta Thunberg. Hello. Yeah, I don't know how to do this. There we go. All right. There's a lot going on. Um, let's look at the news. We're looking at the news. The plane crashed. Israeli and Thai hostages released. Intel Chief Tulsi Gabbard faces her confirmation hearing. Kash Patel testifies at Senate confirmation hearing. So Donald Trump is president and QAnon did nothing to help them. All their Sudokus didn't do shit. Maybe do something more useful like campaigning and being more relatable to the centrists, which was what politics is all about. No survivors after jet and helicopter midair collision. So people died. I think that we should have, better communication. Maybe the military shouldn't just be able to do whatever they want, however they want. Maybe they should be able to follow the rules of all the other aircraft, especially in civilian places. And this is good training. Like, what if you're a fucking military and you're fucking doing military things in Beirut or something and you crash into a plane? At least it happened here. So that you could be like, oh, let's not do that. So it's good training. Don't crash into jetliners, commercial airlines. Um, but yeah, obviously not good that it happened. Sucks because that was a commercial flight. We all take commercial flights, most of us. So it's scary. It's like watching a car crash. But still, the safest way to travel, apparently, of all the flights that happened yesterday. There are so many flights every day. If only we had a zippy zoomy thing. You can just zip across wherever you want. Time and space is the final frontier. We still have yet to master it. CNN, this is probably pissing some people off. Let's go to what is a good neutral Yahoo News. No one cares about Yahoo News. This is like an app. This is like a fucking ticker tape on your refrigerator. This is neutral because no one cares. No one respects Yahoo News. There was a figure skater on the airplane. Look at this guy. Russians. They're in the skating club. They're skating around. Why are there so many figure skaters on this plane? This figure skating in Washington, D.C. God, the skating club lost a bunch of people. You gotta diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put all your skaters in one American Eagle flight. But how are they to know? They were only skaters after all. I'm sure they're used to avoiding collisions. Could have given them a lesson. Captain Sully Sullenberger reacts. I mean, just the fact that he reacted shouldn't be news. What is he gonna say? Sad, shouldn't have happened. Um, Fewer over the water than over land at night. Fewer ground lights visible over the water though. Might have made it a little bit harder to see. Why would that make it harder to see if there's fewer ground lights over the water than over land? Oh, it's because you can't see what's happening, so it's dark above the river. But then the light of the plane, that plane's light was pretty bright in the video. But I guess if it's completely dark, it's hard to see shit. I think that's something that people have figured out a long time ago. There was a little Cessna flown by a family that crashed into a jet in LA and it exploded all over the place, rained down litter all over LA. It's crazy that no one survived. It looks like the plane's intact. It's crazy. It was like an 8 foot water. Anyways, there was a skate camp that a lot of attended in the area. Like moth to a flame. Took out a bunch of homos. That's what the military does. Are you a good driver, Hans? I doubt it. He's half blind. Ha ha ha. I used to be an Uber driver. I can get a little aggressive at times, but I try not to drive. I think driving is for poor people. No, I think driving is dangerous and dumb. I think it's a stupid way to get around. I mean, I drove here and my house is like 2 blocks from my place, but I don't take long drives. I try to stay away from the roads as much as possible. And it's not like a bike is safer on the road. In fact, some would say it's more dangerous. So yeah, I usually try not to drive. So my skills may have atrophied, but I try to be really analytical in how I drive. I try to give myself space. I don't want to drive around a bunch of other people. I try to find like an empty space. I try to drive either faster or slower than other people, which is apparently the safest way to drive, according to motorcyclists. You don't want to be driving the same speed as everyone else because then you're just sitting in people's blind spots for a long period of time. But yeah, I think driving is stupid and dangerous, and it's crazy that people get drunk and then we have to drive. I think we should limit the amount of driving. It's like such an unnecessary distraction, and your energy could be going towards something more useful, and instead you have to focus on zipping around in a fucking car, and it's a skill that's not meant for humans. Unless like that's your thing if you really want to get good at it, but it's like having to fucking use a chainsaw every time you want to go anywhere. Like you have to use a chainsaw 5 times a day. It's not a necessary skill. I guess it's like having to use a power tool. It's like yeah, it's useful, but yeah, I mean, I think we should have trains. I think we have a light rail coming in soon. That's exciting in Austin. That way we can transport more people. A highway can only transport a certain number of people. A train can transport way more than that. So it helps to get people off the roads to decrease traffic. So if you do want to drive, there's less traffic. And we should have the freedom to choose what kind of mode of transportation that we would want to use instead of having to be forced to use a car every time. And the way they force you to use a car is by making everything far away, by making public transit less speedy and efficient. And that's how it is. That's just the law of nature. If you want to have proper transportation, you don't have everyone fucking in a car in a giant thing that goes really fast and that you have to give a lot of space to. Um, I'm just gonna add myself to this story, this red band story. Oh, I have another camera angle I could use. So there's that one. Um, and then there's this one. This one's black. Yeah. I watch Hasanabe on Twitch, but I'm not on Twitch. I just started on YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. Live or die, die to death, death to the life, from life to death. I'm gonna be on YouTube forever. That's the color that I associate with doing whatever this is, podcasting or live streaming is red. Unless there's another red app that comes around, I'm gonna stay on motherfucking YouTube. I really don't care. This is just like a website that everyone uses, a video website. I use it all the time. I wish it was diversified. I wish there were more options. Instead, it's one homogenous monoculture that has taken over the fucking world and has destroyed any creativity or anything else going on. I have tried acid. Thank you for asking. I love acid. I don't do it a lot. It seems very strong. At least mushrooms is natural, so it's like feminine. It's like a tree. Like it's big and strong, but you can chop it down with a fucking chainsaw. Acid feels like a fucking F1 or like a rocket ship. It's just really strong. It's like mechanical. It's like I have no ability to withstand chemical, mechanical, industrialized strength. I'm but a human. So mushroom seems more human friendly, but I guess if you get used to acid, you can make it more better on a natural way. Trip on acid is way too long. I guess depends on what you're looking for. If you're just looking for a nice 2 hour, 1 hour fun time session. But if you're just bored for the whole day and you just want to have a very fun time for the whole day, then that'd be awesome to take something that lasts a long time rather than have to eat shitty fungus mushroom for the whole day over and over. But what is that called when you fucking take a little dose for the whole day? Because I know microdosing is just you take it once, a little bit, just to give you a little pep. And macrodosing is take a giant. What about just fucking marathoning this shit? Marathoning drugs just so that you're moderately high for a super long amount of time. I think that's more my speed because I just like to not be in my own brain. I like to have different brains. If I just have one brain, I get bored, I get stale, I start thinking about things that I don't want to think about. But if I'm on drugs, then I have this surge of endorphins that guide my thought to more happy places. And I think that's not always a negative thing to be in a more positive state of mind. I think being able to force yourself to be positive is kind of illogical. Just being sober, just being like, I'm a happy person now. It's like, no, I don't have to rely on myself for my happiness. I don't have that much confidence in myself. What am I just fucking that awesome that I don't need anything when all these other people are doing drugs? I'm not fucking Superman. I'm just a normal person and I don't want to have arrogance or cockiness to how happy I am. I did this all by myself. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy that you need to have that. You can't just like do drugs like a normal person. You have to like prove to people that you're better than them because you can be happy without stuff that everyone needs. But yeah, I mean, I think not doing drugs is good too. It's good to like feel what your brain is actually like. I feel like I do that enough. I feel like I got a good sense of what my head is like without drugs. And yeah, I like my brain on drugs better, but maybe that's just the drugs talking. Of course, the drugs would want me to keep doing drugs. That's how they reproduce. Weed has made us want it, and now it's everywhere. It's in fucking dispensaries. It's in alleyways in California right now, just spreading its seed through our lungs. It's lung seeds. Yeah, LSD is synthesized from LSA, which is in grain fungi, Hawaiian baby, wood rose seeds, morning glory seeds, etc. My girlfriend cheated on me with a girl she said I could trust and call her friend. What should I do? I miss her a lot. Your girlfriend cheated on you with a girl she said I could trust and call her friend. It sounds like you have stumbled into an awesome situation. Your girlfriend has sex with a girl. I mean, can you even call that sex? They just had an intimate time with their genitals out. I would say try to get in on that. Try to be like, okay, how did that happen? Let me see you guys do that. Let's see what happened. Let's see what happened there. You did it without me. Now you have to do it with me there, just supervising, and then just slowly start to work your way in, and then have a threesome, two vaginas. That can be fun. You can compare and contrast vaginas, the vagina feels. But yeah, I mean, I think that if you feel like it was cheating, like she had an intimate moment with someone else and you only want intimate moments with each other, then that's that's unfortunate that she was out there loving someone else the way that she loves you. But I mean, if your life is better with her than without, then maybe you should tolerate her having sex with women, and maybe you should try to see if you want to have sex with a dude. When you come into Montreal, I don't know. What comedy club is there? Is there a station for us comedians? Is there an embassy where I could lay my head, or I could Edward Snowden for a bit? That's all I do on these trips. I go from the hotel to the comedy club. I don't really go out and explore. I don't even know why I would do that. Just to go to tourist traps and stare at other tourists. I mean, I would rather talk to people and get to know the people that are there. I don't really like seeing buildings that are important to your city and stuff. But yeah, there's a lot going on. Let's take a look at some crazy videos. One of the most active volcanoes in the world. Buried in more than 270,000 beads, grave reveals woman's power 5,000 years ago. So they're trying to make it seem like feminism is like an old thing, that respecting women was a tradition as old as time. And I just, I just don't want to hear it. I like what we have now, where women are objectified. But yeah, I mean, obviously, women were respected in the past because they gave birth to human beings and they had brains and contributed knowledge and power. And it was a less industrialized society. So 5,000 years ago, a woman had more contributions as opposed to a purely mechanical mind of a man. So I'm sure they were very useful 5,000 years ago to be like, hey, don't antagonize that tiger. That tiger, he's feeling sad right now. So women were, I bet, useful. Devastating footage shows what went wrong in Washington plane crash. I know what went wrong. A fucking helicopter collided into the plane. That's why there were no survivors. Um, yeah, what are we gonna do? Planes crashed. Um, Third Floor Comedy Club, the Comedy Nest. Ooh, sounds nice. What is going on? Greta Thunberg. I just feel like she has emotions based on world politics. And it's like, do you really feel those emotions? Like, aren't you in the day to day? Which is what Americans are good at. They're good at ignoring what's going on and having a good time regardless because they could afford to do that. If you're in Lebanon, you can't really afford to ignore politics. You got to know when the bombs are coming. But yeah, I mean, I think it is important to live your life and have a good time, but I think it's also important to fucking check in and see what's going on. Yeah, so that's just Greta Thunberg. Let's see what's going on Twitter. I am not vaping mushy rice. Oh, I am Asian. Oh, I am Asian. My geek bar is a sour apple ice. This is a fancy one. I have used to do the shitty geek bars, but this seems more fancy. It feels more like air. The other ones are more flavored. It feels like, like fast food. But this one feels like the white claw of vapes. It's just not a lot going on, a hint of flavor, and all nicotine. That's what we want. Sure. Packing for 2 days, one night. The Black Hawk Sea is still almost totally dark. I mean, then how can we see it on the fucking thing? Oh, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of lights. Sam George is trending. Who's Sam George? Is a Jesus follower? Ready to serve. Who the fuck is Sam George? Dezata. Some African guy. I did not attack the Chief Justice. She is not above criticism. So he's a African politician. Is he in America? He's a caretaker. He has a beautiful wife slash woman. I have no idea who Sam George is. He seems like a right wing kind of guy. He's really into God. He's really into his wife. Oh my God. Look at this paramilitary guy. Oh, wait. You guys can't see it. I haven't played Marvel Rivals yet. Look at this guy. He's saluting a black politician. He's gonna die for this guy. Wonder wonder what he's gonna do. This is the most a man can give another man. A military salute. I will mechanically do what you want me to do. I have no idea what he's saying though. Took a shot of wine and now he's crying for his president. I have no idea what this guy is up to. Impeach Trump now is trending. What did he do to get impeached? Had a horrible cabinet. They should impeach him because they're like, fuck, you sent another fucking crazy moron. And now we have to question him. And I'm getting sick of this. You choose people that are actually competent.
Elements, but then told us that you weren't sure that the controllers made any mistake. You then said perhaps the helicopter pilots were the ones who made the mistake.
It's all under investigation.
I understand that. That's why I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense.
I put my head in my hands, Pam, when the president said that.
I mean,
this is something
isn't going to tell you if someone was black or white in the control towers. It's common sense. Everyone knows that when the plane crashes, it's because a minority was involved.
that has been pushed by the far right for a few months now, that DEI policies are to blame in a degradation of safety in aviation in the United States. But frankly, the president is getting out ahead of his skis here. What he has said is not only unprofessional, unpresidential, inconsiderate of the status of this investigation, but frankly, it is just unhinged. That he could even say with any sort of certainty that diversity, equity, and inclusion policies had any part to play in this accident. Remember that 67 people are dead. I hate to get so upset here, but this is something that investigators will really need to pick apart piece by piece, and that is going to take some really significant time. We're not even 24 hours after this crash. We're barely even 12 hours.
So he is saying that it was DEI, which is the reason why so many people died in a plane crash. And apparently, we have no idea what the race of the people were. This is like when a mass shooting happens and everyone just wants to know the race of the person. It's like, is that really the most important thing? I think it's ridiculous to blame DEI, but I mean, he's gonna try to further his propaganda, his agenda, everything with everything that happens. Otherwise, he loses relevancy. If he just does the Biden, he's like, very sad. We're going to prevent it. We're going to do our best. No one's going to give a shit. And he doesn't get to further his DEI thing. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to tap into the DEI thing, that's out there now.
Hours after this crash. And he is saying with a lot of certainty that the blame is on DEI and the blame is in some ways on air traffic control and air traffic controller hiring.
I mean, yeah, that's the person we elected. You know, a lot of people are like, fuck the other side. I'm not going to listen to you. We're just gonna fight, and then they don't really do anything. He fired 100 FAA officers. Is that even true? He just wasn't able to get all the DEI hires out in time. 2 years. Um, yeah, I don't know if this is true. It sounds like something he would do. It's not like we're gonna. Um, he's probably degrading like a lot of the ways that the government works, and the FAA is a part of the government. Okay, so this is general anti-Trump stuff. Nancy Kerrigan, the fucking person who faked her thing, faked an injury, or who injured another person. Wait, Nancy is a bad one. So they're just shitting on Nancy Kerrigan now? Is she the good one? I guess Tanya Harding is a bad one. So she's sad. She's really good at crying. That's how she got famous. The good cry. How do you hit someone with a stick hard enough for them to not ice skate? I think I think that's hard to do. You have to crack the bone or something. You just fucking have a bone cracker. I wonder what he used. Is there like a special stick you can use just to break people's bones? Because that's crazy that she just did that. I think a metal stick. Is that all it takes to break a bone? I don't know how to break bones. But yeah, I think that's crazy that he's blaming DEI. Josh Hart already predicted that what Trump would say. A stick, yeah, I mean, that day, was it that day? Maybe the next day, I'd be fine. It would still hurt, but it'd take a couple whacks for me to not be able to skate. Was this guy just going ham on this one leg? Um, but yeah, I mean, if you got the knee or something, if you just fucking tweaked the knee, I think a better thing, since we all know MMA, back when Tanya Harding was kicking around, she really wasn't surrounded by MMA athletes. Nowadays, if you want to fucking Tanya Harding a bitch, all you have to do is go to your local 10th Planet, get some guy who's really good at leg locks, have them do an Imanari roll on that motherfucker. But that's scary because they're wearing skates. So you got to catch them off the ice. You got to catch them at a Dunkin' Donuts and just fucking Imanari roll that motherfucker. My girl's gonna get the gold and just fucking twist the shit out of it and fucking pop their knee. Then you can't fucking, but these fucking, I see people take a fucking leg kick 700 times and still fight. So, you know, maybe, maybe ice skaters need to be tougher, like UFC fighters. Um, yeah. She should have used the blade more. When that guy was metal metal rodding her leg, she should have just fucking like a cat, just get on her back and start kicking. Ice skaters need to learn some self-defense. But yeah, ice skaters are crazy. Oh yeah, just shoot them. Shoot them in the leg. Use hollow points so it doesn't ricochet. With a subsonic round, just fucking Brian Thompson people. But yeah, I guess that's what mass shooters are doing. They're just Tanya Harding a bunch of fucking future competitors, and they're also taking themselves out in the process. So very Nancy Kerrigan like move. She got found out almost right away. Justin Tucker. He's a football player, AFC North. Apparently he's a kicker. I don't know much about any of this. I should look up something crazy. Basketball. Did he get massage spa'd? So he apparently went to a massage spa. Kicker's job is so stressful. You have this one little thing that you do. It's so important. When is your next appearance on Kill Tony? The fucking HEB Arena episodes haven't come out. I don't know when they'll come out, but I'm on one of those. Imagine a show. Everyone should look up blue waffles. That sounds like a sex thing. But yeah, there's a lot of crazy things happening. Drewski. Oh, I saw Drewski on Talem Segura's podcast. And Tom Segura said something about getting his asshole eaten out. There's an hour and 17 into it. That's crazy.
Last year, so many of you joined us for the 5K, and it was the most amazing experience in person and virtually. It was so much. I have, and talk.
You don't. I don't ever see that side of you, man. You never talk about that type of shit.
What do you mean? About like
ambition and like inspirational side of you.
Oh yeah, you're right. I probably don't.
You're always fucking off and like fucking bitches. Every time I see you, man, you're always trying to get. Yeah, you fucking hoes in other cities while you're touring. No, I get it. Yeah,
that's true. VPN, you could be.
It's garbage.
And in Philly too.
Yeah, they're just not gonna know.
That was nasty. It was nasty.
And then it's just cuts. That's just done.
That's just what.
That's it.
That's it.
The moment y'all been waiting for.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
First mistake again.
First mistake.
Want to hear the first mistake? Didn't toast the bread.
Didn't toast the bread.
Nah, didn't. All right, hold on.
Which is not how
Y'all
they
ready?
make that.
Which way? This way? Y'all ready?
This is a different thing.
He's like, all right, take a bite of this.
Garbage.
Garbage.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh,
All the people are like,
You pay?
I paid for it. It's garbage.
and in Philly too.
Yeah, they're just not gonna
It's
know.
like Geno's or something.
It was nasty.
Geno's is on the.
And then
other
it's just
side. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a rude thing to do. It's rude to take someone's work and then criticize it and then throw it on the ground. You can't throw my comedy on the ground unless you digitize or physicalize it. But yeah, DEI, everyone's blaming DEI for everything. Everything's DEI's fault, but it's like, even if we get rid of all the minorities, how's your life going to get better? You think they're going to pay you fairly once all the minorities are out? They're like, oh, we were just waiting for the minorities to leave before giving you basic human rights. It's like, minorities are just fucking crazy, man. Like, all the minorities in the world are not going to help your fucking thing. The thing about fucking DI is that it's not really a big deal. Okay, what I think about DI is like, I don't care about jobs anyways. I think jobs are stupid. I think most jobs are unnecessary. So if there's a minority that gets that job, then I don't care. It's like someone getting something that I don't care about. It's like, who gives a fuck about jobs? If you really wanted to have the best people doing the best jobs, you'd have a proper education system and a healthcare system and help people that are struggling so that they can become productive workers again. But that's not what we're doing. So it's like the the fact that you think you can have like a better workforce just by getting rid of all the minorities is like just indicative of why we don't have a better workforce. It's because you have no idea how to have a better workforce or how to treat people humanely. But yeah, I mean, obviously DI is not really going to help. Like getting rid of it is not going to help anything. And if there's a minority at a job, then I'm like, oh, cool. There's like a different person there. So it's not really, I don't really give a shit. And if you're like, well, what jobs are important? Like, what if there's a white person starving because a minority got hired? Then I'm like, well, why don't you just make sure everyone is taken care of then, or has meaningful employment, regardless of um, whether or not um, minorities are involved. So it's like it's not even a minority question at that point. I think that we should give unemployed people like the ability to survive until they can find another job. So I would just say that I would just say, hey, why don't you just fucking give everyone a fucking living standard that's obtainable so that it's not as hard to survive. And then you don't have to worry about white people starving to death because they're poor, because they don't have the job, because a minority got it. And then if we all have that, then it doesn't matter who gets the job, and it's not such a fucking life or death struggle. But yeah, I think like we don't give the best people the job to begin with. You know, it's not like we are giving out jobs based on merit to begin with. So if a minority is using the system to get ahead in that way, then I feel like that's a tool in their belt that they can use. Yeah, DEI. People are talking about DEI. I'm talking about DEI. Um, yeah, DEI, DEI, DEI. Let's watch him storm off. He stormed off after
So
an hour. How
you
long are these podcasts normally?
you're one of those guys. You go straight. You're looking for women who eat ass.
I mean, it's a lifelong kind of thing, right? I'll even do the thing where I'll put the you know what I mean? I'll step over.
Well, I think we've gone past the limit of this interview. I think.
No, really? I thought we were just.
Yeah, I mean, you grabbed something and went towards your ass. I don't know.
It's the back of someone's head. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually an
I
hour
love doing
13
this show,
long.
man.
Bad boy for life.
So he just did a
Take
normal
that,
podcast.
take that. Okay. Okay. All right. So he left. Hey man, he left.
I think black people have a very low tolerance for gay stuff. And I think it's like one of their few limits of what they'll tolerate. And they just can't be around it because they're too empathetic and they don't want to like fall into butt stuff. And so he has to storm out. I think like they have like a very hard wall against it. It's not like a white person's defense against gay stuff where they're like, haha, I'm gay, bro. Haha. And then they just joke about it. Black people just don't even broach that subject at all. And I think that's a cultural thing, maybe. And Tom Segura obviously found the limit of Drewski's homosexual tendencies. He just does not want to go there, which is, I don't think the best strategy to not be gay is to be like super anti-gay. I think that makes you a little bit more gay because then you are overwhelmed by gay stuff and it's easier to override your system and just do gay stuff with you. But I mean, it's effective for 95% of the situations. So I would say that it's not wrong to not want to hear about gay stuff. You know, people are all different. You don't want to be messing around with their wiring and their programming too much. I don't think it's homophobic to do that. If you don't want to hear about gay stuff, that's fine. I mean, it's not even gay. It's a woman eating his ass. So it's not really that gay. Black people that are gay are just gay. They're like uber gay. That's where all the culture comes from, is black gay people. But they just tap into their gayness more, I feel like. A gay black person is more gay than he is black. For the most part. I'm sure there's like some thugged out gangster gay like Omar from The Wire. But yeah, it seems like black gay people, they're super skinny usually, and they look like women. And yeah, I just think some people just can't talk about everything, and that's fine. You don't have to be able to talk about everything. But if you're on a white dude's podcast, gay stuff is probably going to come up. It's like a cultural thing. You got to be sensitive to their culture, their willingness to play around with gay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much.